Hey everyone, welcome back to the Twistie Test Championship. Today we've got Ireland again in another competitive matchup. This time they're coming up against Bangladesh, and this is actually the last game of the third round of the TTC. Bangladesh have won the toss. It's a hard, dry pitch, and they've elected to bowl, which is an interesting choice. We've seen a lot of sides actually try to bowl first in this tournament to varying degrees of success. You know, some teams have bowled first and done it well. Some teams have batted first and done that well. But today it is Bangladesh winning the toss, choosing to bowl here against Ireland, who had a dream start to their tournament after a victory over England a couple of weeks ago. I know I did mess up the release schedule of these two tests. This was supposed to be coming out then, and that one was supposed to be coming out now. But I actually recorded the other one first because that's what I thought the order was supposed to be in. So my mistakes there. But now we've got this matchup here between Ireland and Bangladesh. And as we said, Ireland off to a dream start. If they win this game, they'll go into a game against Australia next week, or next round, where they will play Australia. Both sides 2-0. The winner of that would then go on to qualify for the finals. So Ireland, all of a sudden, if they get this victory against Bangladesh, are in one of the prime positions in this tournament. And that's going to be absolutely huge for them. Now, they've started well here. 33 without loss. Porterfield and Sterling looking pretty good at the crease. There's been a few byes there as well from some poor bowling. Yeah, there's just a little bit of an overthrow. No run there. But, yeah, what about Bangladesh? I mean, they haven't been able to put a win on the board yet. I don't think they have any points, actually, on the board yet. After they fell agonisingly short against Pakistan. A 4-run loss in that matchup. So they'd also be looking to get their campaign, I guess, up and running, or at least give themselves some sort of hope here. They do need a win to stay in the tournament, given they have already lost 2 matches so far. And they've only got 1 game remaining. They'll need to win both of their games to stay in it, as we see the 50-run partnership brought up here for the Irish. 52 without loss. And it has been raining. I'm not sure if anyone has noticed, but it has been raining basically all day. We've got rain scheduled for 4 days of play by the looks of things. The weather has not been kind to us for this test match, but we should still get in about 75 overs in today, which should give us still relatively close to a full day's play. Something that this game doesn't actually do is it doesn't try to start the next day earlier to make up overs, which I think is a little bit crappy from that perspective. But it does play out the full 5th day if there's any delays in it. As we see a big appeal here. Bangladesh get their first wicket. Finally. Yeah, as I said, if the side gets, if there is a game that does go to the 5th day and the 5th day does get delayed, it still tries to play out 90 overs, which I don't know if that's how the real world works, but I guess they just try. Oh, jeez, lost me mic here. They do try to get through those minimum requirements of overs. This one worked away now for some more runs. So it's now Balbirnie and Sterling in. That one off the pad, little inside edge. Geez, if they had a man there, that would have been perfect for a catch. 69 for 1 at the moment, the Irish. And they've been pretty confident, obviously losing since that first wicket. Sterling's had to get a little bit more of a move on. He was scoring quite slowly as we started things off here today. 19 from 66. But it's almost been, you know, an ideal start from Ireland because they haven't lost too many early wickets. If they get through this session only 1 down, I mean, you'd say poor choice to win the toss and bowl from Bangladesh's perspective. And that one away through mid-wicket. That'll be runs. Should be 4 more of them as the ball trickles over the boundary. A couple of overs left until the lunch break here, I think, on the first day's play. Look at that rain coming in. Oh, big appeal. And given. So Bangladesh have 2. They'll love that. Irish just losing that star wicket right before the break. Although I'm not sure when the break's supposed to be here because we did start a bit late. This is going to be reviewed going upstairs. Was there any bat on it? There might have been 2 noises. And, geez, it's a tiny little spot on the hot spot. But you can see as the ball crosses the bat, it was the tiniest amount of an outside edge. So this decision will be overturned. As we look at what the ball tracking would have said, impact was the bat, and it was going on to clip the leg stump. So the umpire just missing that inside edge. I think it's Balbirnie who was surviving there. As Ireland moved to 90 for 1. So disappointment for Bangladesh. Thought they had a wicket. Yes. But didn't quite get there in the end. As we see some more runs being had. As the 31st over will be coming to a close very shortly. What's this? They run 4 there or 5? They run 4. And that is going to take us to lunch. A late lunch break here. 1:44 p.m. As we got through 31 overs of time there. 98 for 1. 40, 30, 20. The 3 scorers from Porterfield, Sterling and Balbirnie. Just the 1 wicket so far that has fallen for the Irish. But they look in the box seat here on day 1 so far. Has been a good start from them. Lots of fans, of course, getting behind the Irish in this tournament since their injection into it. Obviously getting the call up after India's dismissal from the tournament. And they'll pick up 2 more here. A true underdog story is it for Ireland. And something that you will point out here, because we do know the results of course, Australia and Pakistan, who Pakistan will not play a game in the next round. Basically, if Ireland and Pakistan were to meet in the 5th round, that would eventually look like somewhat of a elimination final for the 2 of them. And it could possibly be that the winner of that game would go on to qualify for the championship semi-finals. So that's an intriguing prospect down the line as we see a little edge here through to the keeper. And the wicket is taken. So that, of course, would be determining that Ireland go on to win or draw this game. And Australia would then go on to beat Ireland. Of course, we are predicting so far into the future on day 1 of this test, which still has plenty of time remaining in it. And we're trying to predict, you know, two or three results into the future for the championship, which has thrown up a few surprising results thus far. The West Indies and South Africa just pulling off a draw, which many thought the South Africans were going to win, although the West Indies put themselves in a pretty strong position to win that game. Group B looking very close. As Paul Sterling brings up a half century here. 143 for 2. Geez, what a start from Ireland. Oh, got him. Straight through him. No reviews there. Have a look at this delivery. The cross seamer just holds its line a little bit. Gee, I reckon that could have broken the collarbone of the keeper there because he didn't take it cleanly. But the stump goes goodbye. And Sterling dismissed by Jayed. Ireland 152 for 3. This will be more runs. And it's Kevin O'Brien, the new man to the crease for the Irish. Yep. Oh, and there's an inside edge. But they've just gone about their business quite well with the bat today, Ireland. They haven't focused too much on losing wickets because they've just wanted to continue to build partnerships. And that's what they've done time and again today. Started with a 50-run stand and it really just set the tone. Maybe the rain today's helped the ball skid onto the bat a little bit more rather than, from a bowling perspective, help them out. Would have really reduced the amount of swing that we were getting, as well as making the ball a bit heavier. 189 for 3 at the end of that second session. Not sure how many overs we will get in this final session here tonight, of course, with the rain. Maybe reducing the overs by a little bit. But O'Brien has come to the crease, and it's something we haven't really noticed is He's just piled on runs after runs after runs. 44 from 61, which is a bit much of a higher strike rate than a number of the other players have been going at sort of 50 or below. But he's struck at about 65, 70, which is pretty good here for this Test Championship, in which we've seen, especially since that first matchup, a lot of the scores drop off quite a lot. This one picks up 4 more.
Yes, catch.
Well, that'll be more runs. Rain's starting to look a bit heavier now. Not sure whether or not we will come from the ground, but the umpires doing their best to keep everyone out there.
Yep.
As we see, another inside edge for runs. But they're staying out there right now. Even with all this rain, the ball is skidding around. It's sliding off the bat, off those edges. It's making it really difficult for any of them to be somewhat predictable as to where they're going to go. It's making it tricky in the field as well, I suggest. 77 overs gone. And that is the 50 partnership here between Kevin O'Brien and McCollum. Unless it's actually the 100-run partnership. But I'm not quite sure. Could be. Kevin O'Brien's on 68. Maybe it is the 100-run partnership. Who knows? Maybe I've lost my marbles. As we see another boundary through mid-wicket from McCollum. Oh, off the glove. Doesn't go anywhere. New ball was taken. And surprisingly, despite all the weather, we might get through an entirety of a day's play. The rain has been consistent throughout the day. It's been just consistently this sort of heavy. But it has allowed us to get through as many overs as possible. Gee, that one maybe off the glove. Maybe a little catching opportunity. This one's pulled away for 1. 279 for 3. So we head into the 89th over. Is this the final over of the day? It might very well be. In the air. And taken. Not sure what McCollum was doing then. Basically, he just spooned it up in the air. And the fielder at point said, alright, I'll take this catch. Especially in the last over of the day, you can't really afford to be doing things like that. The fielder was just sitting underneath it, got right in behind it, took the catch. James McCollum out for 57. Ireland 279 for 4. They've gone with Pointer, choosing to not go with the night watchman here, given there was only the 1 ball remaining. Oh, there's 1 over remaining, which Pointer has now gone on to face 5 deliveries from. There were some buys. As we got 1 ball left in the day's play. It'll be Pointer on strike. J-Ed with ball in hand. Happy to see it through to the keeper. That's the end of the day's play. We got through an entire 90 over day, everyone. Unbelievable. It rained from beginning to end, but the players played on and played through it all. 283 for 4. Ireland at the end of day 1. Islam with a couple of wickets. Ibadad Hussain with 1. And Abu Jayed with 1 as well. Bowlers a little bit expensive for their wickets. But it's Ireland on day 1. 283 for 4. In a pretty good spot, let's say. Can Bangladesh recover on day 2?